So let me just now pivot to Rakshit and Sanjay. The hotel and the travel industry have probably been one of the most hit negatively by the pandemic. So while Akash and Kalol would be, laughing all the way to the bank, Rakshit and Sanjay would not be in the same boat. You're in the business of care and high touch service. Uh, you would have been required to rethink your entire business strategy on how do I get customers in? How do I get customers to come into the hotels, customers to come and start traveling? So give us a peek into the business thought of getting customers and revenues back using technology. So let's go to Rakshit first and then to Sanjay. Rakshit, all yours.
So, firstly, thanks for having me on the panel. Really appreciate it. Enjoying the conversation. Um, Look, I think the first part of this problem is acceptance, right? If you think it's going to go away very soon, then you're not very motivated to try and solve for it. But the reality of the situation is whether artificially or naturally certain constraints have been placed, and we have to find ways around that. I think, and I don't know what the right or wrong answers are, but what I can do is I can tell you how our thinking evolved through this situation, right? And because you're presented with various dilemmas, uh, you have to ask yourself whether you're, or at least I had to ask myself whether I was committed to travel or I needed to pivot, right? And pivot being a much used and much abused word in situations like this. And I think our view is that whatever the duration of the constraints, the fact that the human spirit for adventure and discovery isn't going to die easily, and that whether in measured terms or in very rapid recovery terms, the need and ability to travel will return, is something that we placed a very concentrated bet on, right? And if you say, okay, I was in the business of travel, I am in the business of travel, and that, what does that involve? It involves enabling our customers to, on the B2C side, achieve their dreams, and on the B2B side, achieve their ambitions, because it's about enabling business. Then what are the various things that we can do to do that, right? So we've got a business that facilitates cross-border payments, for example, and we've seen a lot more traction there, because whether, particularly for students that are stuck, or people that have dependents across borders, we're seeing those flows sorts of pick up, and we kind of leverage that. We then, since we've got a business or a part of the business where we organize conferences and events, and we figured that actually the need for conferencing hasn't gone away. Our clients still have a strong desire to bring their teams together, but there is a physical constraint on being able to do that. So how is it that we can enable digital platforms where, we can provide an experience that's similar to a physical event? So whether you're launching a new product, whether you're trying to inject energy into your distribution network, whether you're just trying to, reward and recognize and motivate some of your own people, what are the sorts of things that we can do, and how can we bridge that digital and physical divide, right? So one is the ability to host events on digital platforms, and then we complement that with with physical experiences, like delivering a standard food and beverage solution to each delegate's home, and then coordinating and synchronizing the experience around that, or having a theme that is executed in a very distributed fashion, rather than we would do in a physically co-located space, or then get us, like Sanjay was saying earlier before we went live, get a small people or a small group of people together physically, but then broadcast universally, so that we could have different degrees of participation depending on what the objectives of that are. But I mean, the reality is that these are parts of the business. They may grow disproportionately to the core, but the core will need to come back for us to be relevant and for us to be viable as well.
Fair point. Sanjay, you want to address this?
Thank you, Vikas, and a very good morning and good afternoon to everybody. And I wish good health and well-being to all, and specifically to all the audience who are listening to us. I think I see um, in hundreds. So thank you very much for listening to us. Going to the question, Vikas, I think it is in two parts. It's not about getting the business back. It's about what do we do internally to generate confidence, to see how we can assure people, whether it is Rakshit's side or whether it is our side. I would like to draw the attention here that our industry is about emotion, it's about passion, it's about relationships. And that's how the industry runs, because people are looking at that. People are human beings, are emotional. So we need to see how we can add that humane factor in a technologically oriented world. How do you convey hospitality? How do you convey care? How do you convey your purpose? Through technology. That's the question we need to answer first, and then say, okay, now let's integrate it with technology and give that solution to our clients who are going to come. That is what is going to get us business. Business is going to come if your guests are assured that what is being offered to you is safe, because always, the mantra now would be safety first and well-being always. So you need to look at well-being and safety and then say, okay, this is what we can modulate, and see how we integrate that so that we can provide. Our business is about providing guest experiences. It's not about just a room. It's not just about a dish on the table. It's not just about another service at the hotel. It's how do you address that journey of that experience which a customer gets from a pre-arrival to a checkout or post that as well. So we need to look at how do you minimize contact and maximize care. So we need to look at all the components through that journey, what a guest goes through. We need to also see how do you do it with, minimize the contact, add digitization to that, add tech to that, so that people are assured that when they come, and you need to see how you do various things in the hotel that get that revenue back, or that get the guests back, so that you are also preferred. It's not only about getting them back, it's also about being preferred and also creating differentiators. So one needs to see internally first how you create those differentiators, those assurances to your clientele to get that. So it's about feeding the senses, whether it is through the QR codes at the restaurants where there is no physical contact. You can, with your phone, scan the QR code and the entire menu is on your phone. It's about creating those private dining destinations. You could convert, let's say a suite into a dining area where a family can go because they know they are safe and they're comfortable with each other. So you could create those kind of venues where you can generate revenue with assurance. It's about curating with care, whether it is using automation to avoid physical contact. It's about enhanced digital amenities as well. For example, we have a World of Hyatt app now, where the journey is up to you. It is up to you how you choose to engage with us, whether you want to come to the reception for your key, or you want to open the door of your room through your mobile phone. And I thank all the digital innovations and which have come in, that they have provided us the ability to do all these, to minimize contact. So it's about all those things. How do you do this? So it's for us, the question to answer is, how do we convey hospitality, passion, and emotion, and create a relationship by integrating these services with tech? And that will be the answer. How do you get more guests into your hotel and create those differentiators? So a little different perspective, but I personally am of the opinion it is up to us. The question to answer would be, how do you integrate hospitality into tech? And that's what we are working on.